Timothy Payne Jr. This is Henry IV, Part 1. If you've been tuning in, we are now up to Act 2, Scene 3. I've been reading a scene or two a day. Today I'm going to perform Act 2, Scene 3 and 4. So without further ado, here we go. Alrighty. Henry IV, Part 1, Act 2, Scene 3, Warkworth Castle. Enter Hotspur, Solus, reading a letter. Hotspur. But for mine own part, my lord, I could be well contented to be there in respect to the love I bear your house. He could be contented. Why, is he not, then? In respect to the love he bears our house, he shows in this. He loves his own barn better than he loves our house. Let me see some more. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. Why, that's certain. 'Tis dangerous to take a cold, to sleep, to drink. But I tell you, my lord fool, out of this nettle, danger, we pluck this flower, safety. The purpose you undertake is dangerous, the friends you have named uncertain, the time itself unsorted, and your whole plot too light for the counterpoise of so great an opposition. Say you so? Say you so? I say unto you again, you are a shallow, cowardly hind, and you lie. What a lack-brain is this? By the Lord, our plot is as good a plot as ever was laid, our friends true and constant. A good plot, good friends, and full of expectation. An excellent plot, very good friends. What a frosty-spirited rogue is this? Why, my Lord of York commends the plot and the general course of action. Zounds! And I were now by this rascal, I could brain him with his lady's fan. Is there not my father, my uncle, and myself, Lord Edmund Mortimer, my Lord of York, and Owen Glendower? Is there not besides the Douglas? Have I not all their letters to meet me in arms by the 9th of the next month? And are they not some of them set forward already? What a pagan rascal is this! An infidel! Ha! You shall see now in very sincerity of fear and cold heart, will he to the king and lay open all our proceedings. Oh, I could divide myself and go to buffets for moving such a dish of skim milk with so honourable an action. Hang him! Let him tell the king. We are prepared. I will set forward to-night. Enter Lady Percy. How now, Kate! I must leave you within these 2 hours. Lady Percy. Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offence have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is that takes from thee thy stomach, pleasure, and thy golden sleep? Why dost thou bend thine eyes upon the earth, and start so often when thou sittest alone? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks, and given my treasures and my rights of these to thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy? In thy faint slumbers I by thee have watched, and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars, speak terms of manage to thy bounding steed, cry "Courage!" to the field, and thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, palisadoes, frontiers, parapets, of basilics, of cannon, of culverin, of prisoners' ransom, and of soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus hath so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweat have stood upon thy brow, like bubbles in a late disturbed stream, and in thy face strange motions have appeared, such as we see when men restrain their breath on some great sudden hest. Oh, what portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not. Hotspur. What, ho! Is Gilliams with the packet gone? Servant. He is, my lord, an hour ago. Hotspur. Hath Butler brought these horses from the sheriff? Servant. 1 horse, my lord, he brought even now. Hotspur. What horse? A roan, a crop-ear, is it not? Servant. It is, my lord. Hotspur. That roan shall be my throne. Well, I will back him straight. Oh, Esperance! Bid Butler lead him forth into the park. Exit servant. Lady Percy. But hear you, my lord. Hotspur. What sayest thou, my lady? Lady Percy. What is it carries you away? Hotspur. Why, my horse, my love, my horse. Lady Percy. Out, you mad-headed ape! A weasel hath not such a deal of spleen as you tossed with. In faith, I'll know your business, Harry, that I will. I fear my brother Mortimer doth stir about his title, and has sent for you to line his enterprise. But if you go... Hotspur. So far afoot, I shall be weary, love. Lady Percy. Come, come, you Periquito, answer me directly unto this question that I ask. In faith, I'll break thy little finger, Harry, and if thou wilt not tell me all things true. Hotspur. Away, away, you trifler! I love thee not. I care not for thee, Kate. This is no world to play with mammoths and to tilt with lips. We must have bloody noses and cracked crowns, and pass them current too. God's me, my horse! What sayest thou, Kate? What wouldst thou have with me? Lady Percy. Do you not love me? Do you not indeed? Well, do not then, for since you love me not, I will not love myself. Do you not love me? Nay, tell me if you speak in jest or no. Hotspur. Come, wilt thou see me ride? And when I am on horseback, I will swear I love thee infinitely. But hark you, Kate, I must not have you henceforth question me whither I go, nor reason whereabout. Whither I must, and to conclude, this evening must I leave you, gentle Kate. I know you wise, but yet no farther wise than Harry Percy's wife. Constant you are, but yet a woman, and for secrecy no lady closer, for I well believe thou wilt not utter what thou dost not know, and so far will I trust thee, gentle Kate. Lady Percy. How? So far? Hotspur. Not an inch further. But hark you, Kate, whither I go, thither shall you go too. To-day will I set forth, to-morrow you. Will this content you, Kate? Lady Percy. It must, of force. Exeunt. And scene. All right, we're going to get right into the next scene. Scene 4. The Boar's Head Tavern, Eastcheap. Enter Prince Henry and Poins. Prince Henry. Ned, prithee come out of that fat room, and lend me thy hand to laugh a little. Poins. Where hast been, Hal? Prince Henry. With 3 or 4 loggerheads amongst 3 or 4 score hogsheads. I have sounded the very bass string of humility. Sirrah, I am sworn brother to a leash of drawers, and can call them all by their Christian names, as Tom, Dick, and Francis. They take it already upon their salvation, that though I be but the Prince of Wales, yet I am king of courtesy, and tell me flatly, I am no proud Jack, like Falstaff, but a Corinthian, a lad of mettle, a good boy, by the Lord so they call me. And when I am king of England, I shall command all the good lads in Eastcheap. They call drinking deep, dying scarlet, and when you breathe in your watering, they cry hem, and bid you play it off. To conclude, I am so good a proficient in 1/4 of an hour, that I can drink with any tinker in his own language during my life. I tell thee, Ned, thou hast lost much honour, that thou wert not with me in this sweet action. But, sweet Ned, to sweeten which name of Ned, I give thee this pennyworth of sugar, clapped even now into my hand by an underskinker, one that never spake other English in his life than 8 shillings and 6pence, and you are welcome. With this shrill addition, anon, sir, score a pint of bastard in the half-moon, or so. But, Ned, to drive away the time till Falstaff come, I prithee, do thou stand in some by-room, while I question my puny drawer to what end he gave me the sugar, and do thou never leave calling Francis, that his tale to me may be nothing but anon. Step aside, and I'll show thee a precedent. Poins. Francis! Prince Henry. Thou art perfect. Poins. Francis! Exit Poins. Enter Francis. Francis. Anon, sir, look down into the pomegranate, Ralph. Prince Henry. Come hither, Francis. Francis. My lord. Prince Henry. How long hast thou to serve, Francis? Francis. Forsooth, 5 years, and as much 2 points. Points. Francis! Francis. Anon, sir. Prince Henry. 5 year! By a lady, a long lease for the clinking of pewter. But, Francis, darest thou be so valiant as to play the coward with thy indenture, and show it a fair pair of heels, and run from it? Francis. Oh Lord, sir, I'll be sworn upon all the books in England I could find in my heart. Poins. Francis! Francis. Anon, sir. Prince Henry. How old art thou, Francis? Francis. Let me see. About Michaelmas next I shall be... Poins. Francis! Francis. Anon, sir. Pray stay a little, my lord. Prince Henry. Nay, but hark you, Francis, for the sugar thou gavest me 'twas a pennyworth, wasn't not? Francis. Oh, Lord, I would it had been 2. Prince Henry. I will give thee for it 1,000 pound. Ask me when thou wilt, and thou shalt have it. Poins. Francis! Francis. Anon. Prince Henry. Anon, Francis. No, Francis, but to-morrow, Francis, or Thursday, or indeed Francis when thou wilt. But Francis! Francis. My lord? Prince Henry. Wilt thou rob this leathern jerkin, crystal button, not pated, agate ring, puke stocking, caddis garter, smooth tongue, Spanish pouch? Francis. Oh Lord, sir, who do you mean? Prince Henry. Why, then your brown bastard is your only drink? For look you, Francis, your white canvas doublet will sully in Barbary, sir. It cannot come to so much. Francis. What, sir? Poins. Francis! Prince Henry. Away, you rogue! Dost thou not hear them call? Here they both calm. The drawer stands amazed, not knowing which way to go. Enter Vintner. Vintner. What, standest thou still and hearest such a calling? Look to the guest within. Exit Francis. My lord, old Sir John, with half a dozen more, are at the door. Shall I let them in? Prince Henry. Let them alone a while, and then open the door. Exit Vintner. Points. Re-enter Points. Points. Anon, sir. Henry. Sirrah, Falstaff and the rest of the thieves are at the door. Shall we be merry? Points. As merry as crickets, my lad. But hark ye, what cunning match have you made with this jest of the drawer? Come, what's the issue? Prince Henry. I am now of all humours that have showed themselves humours since the old days of Goodman Adam to the pupil age of this present, 12 o'clock at midnight. Re-enter Francis. What's o'clock, Francis? Francis. Anon, sir. Exit. Henry. That ever this fellow should have fewer words than a parrot, and yet the son of a woman. His industry is upstairs and downstairs, his eloquence the parcel of a reckoning. I am not yet of Percy's mind, the Hotspur of the North, he that kills me some 6 or 7 dozen Scots at breakfast, washes his hands, and says to his wife, Fie upon this quiet life, I want work. Oh, my sweet Harry, says she, how many hast thou killed to-day? Give my roan horse a drench, says he, and answers, Some 14 an hour after. A trifle. I prithee, call in Falstaff. I'll play Percy, and that damned Brawn shall play Dame Mortimer his wife. Revo, says the drunkard. Call in Ribs, call in Tallow. Enter Falstaff, Gadshill, Bardolph, and Pedo. Francis following with wine. Poins. Welcome, Jack. Where hast thou been? Falstaff. A plague of all cowards, I say, and a vengeance too, marry and amen. Give me a cup of sack, boy. Ere I lead this life long, I'll sow neither stocks and mend them and foot them too. A plague of all cowards! Give me a cup of sack, rogue! Is there no virtue extant? He drinks. Henry. Didst thou never see Titan kiss a dish of butter? Pitiful-hearted Titan that melted at the sweet tale of the suns? If thou didst, then behold that compound. Falstaff. You rogue! Here's lime in this sack too. There is nothing but roguery to be found in villainous man. Yet a coward is worse than a cup of sack with lime in it. A villainous coward. Go thy ways, old Jack. Die when thou wilt. If manhood, good manhood, be not forgot upon the face of the earth, then am I a shot and herring. There live not 3 good men unhanged in England, and one of them is fat and grows old. God help the while. A bad world, I say. I would I were a weaver. I could sing psalms or anything. A plague of all cowards, I say still. Henry. How now? Woolsack? What mutter you? Falstaff. A king's son. If I do not beat thee out of thy kingdom with a dagger of lath, and drive all thy subjects afore thee like a flock of wild geese, I'll never wear hair on my face more. You, Prince of Wales. Prince Henry. Why, you hoarse and round man, what's the matter? Falstaff. Are not you a coward? Answer me to that, and Poins there. Poins. Zounds, you fat punch, and you call me a coward? By the Lord, I'll stab thee. Falstaff. I call thee coward. I'll see thee damned ere I call thee coward, but I would give £1,000 I could run as fast as thou canst. You are straight enough in the shoulders, you care not who sees your back. Call you that backing of your friends? A plague upon such backing. Give me them that will face me. Give me a cup of sack. I am a rogue if I drink to-day. Henry. Oh, villain! Thou lips are scarce wiped since thou drunkest last. Falstaff. All's one for that. A plague of all cowards, still say I. Henry. What's the matter? Falstaff. What's the matter? There be 4 of us here have taken £1,000 this day morning. Henry. Where is it, Jack? Where is it? Falstaff. Where is it? Taken from us it is, 100 upon poor 4 of us. Henry. What, 100 men? Falstaff. I am a rogue. If I were not at half sore with a dozen of them 2 hours together. I have escaped by miracle. I am 8 times thrust through the doublet, 4 through the hose, my buckler cut through and through, my sword hacked like a handsaw, ecce signum. I never dealt better since I was a man, or would not do. A plague of all cowards. Let them speak. If they speak more or less than truth, they are villains and the sons of darkness. Henry. Speak, sirs. How was it? Gadshill. We 4 set upon some dozen? Falstaff. 16 at least, my lord. Gadshill. And bound them? Petto. No, they were not bound. Falstaff. You rogue, they were bound, every man of them, or I am a Jew, else an Hebrew Jew. Gadshill. As we were sharing, some 6 or 7 fresh men set upon us. Falstaff. And unbound the rest, and then come in the other. Prince Henry. What, fought you with them all? Falstaff. All? I know not what you call all, but if I fought not with 50 of them, I am a bunch of radish. If there were not 2 or 3 and 50 upon poor old Jack, then am I no 2-legged creature. Henry. Pray God you have not murdered some of them. Falstaff. Nay, that's past praying for. I have peppered 2 of them. 2 I am sure I have paid 2 rogues in buckram suits. I tell thee what, Hal, if I tell thee a lie, spit in my face, call me hoarse. Thou knowest my old ward. Here I lay, and thus I bore my point. 4 rogues in buckram, let drive at me. Henry. What, 4? Thou saidst but 2 even now. Falstaff. 4, Hal, I told thee 4. Poins. He said 4. Falstaff. These 4 came all afront, and mainly thrust at me. I made me no more ado, but took all their 7 points in my target, thus. Henry. 7? Why, there were but 4 even now. Falstaff. In buckram? Poins. 4 in buckram suits. Falstaff. 7. By these hilts, or I am a villain else. Henry. Prithee, let him alone. We shall have more anon. Falstaff. Dost thou hear me, Hal? Henry. And mark thee too, Jack. Falstaff. Do so, for it is worth the listening to. These 9 in buckram that I told thee of. Henry. So, 2 more already. Falstaff. Their points being broken, points, down fell their hose. Falstaff. Began to give me ground, but I followed me close, came in foot in hand, and with a thought 7 of the 11 I paid. Henry. Oh, monstrous! 11 buckram men, grown out of 2? Falstaff. But, as the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves in Kendal Green came at my back and let drive at me, for it was so dark, Hal, that thou couldst not see thy hand. Henry. These lies are like their father that begets them, gross as a mountain, open, palpable. Why, thou clay-brained guts, thou knotty-pated fool, thou whoreson and obscene, grease-tallow ketch. Falstaff. What? Art thou mad? Art thou mad? Is not the truth the truth? Henry. Why, how couldst thou know these men in Kendal Green, when it was so dark thou couldst not see thy hand? Come, tell us your reason. What sayest thou to this? Poins. Come, your reason, Jack, your reason. Falstaff. What, upon compulsion? Zounds! And I were at the strappado, or all the racks in the world, I would not tell you on compulsion, give you a reason on compulsion. If reasons were as plentiful as blackberries, I would give no man a reason on compulsion. I. Prince Henry. I'll be no longer guilty of this sin, this sanguine coward, this bed-presser, this horseback-breaker, this huge hill of flesh. Falstaff. Sblood, you starveling, you elfskin, you dried-needs tug, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish. Oh, for breath to utter what is like thee. You tailor's yard, you sheath, you bowcase, you vile standing tuck. Henry. Well, breathe a while, and then to it again, and when thou hast tired thyself in base comparisons, hear me speak but this. Poins. Mark, Jack. Henry. We 2 saw you 4 set on 4 and bound them, and were masters of their wealth. Mark now, how a plain tale shall put you down. Then did we 2 set on you 4, and with a word outfaced you from your prize, and have it, yea, and can show it you here in this house, and, Falstaff, you carried your guts away as nimbly, with as quick dexterity, and roared for mercy, and still run and roared, as ever I heard bull-calf. What a slave art thou, to hack thy sword as thou hadst done, and then say it was in fight? What trick, what device, what starting hole canst then now find out to hide thee from this open and apparent shame? Poins. Come, let's hear, Jack, what trick hast thou now? Falstaff. By the Lord, I knew ye as well as he that made ye. Why, hear you, my masters, was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Should I turn upon the true prince? Why, thou knowest I am as valiant as Hercules, but beware instinct. The lion will not touch the true prince. Instinct is a great matter. I was now a coward on instinct. I shall think the better of myself and thee during my life. I for a valiant lion, and thou for a true prince. But, by the Lord, lads, I am glad you have the money. Hostess, clap to the doors, watch tonight, pray tomorrow. Gallant lads, boys, hearts of gold, all the titles of good fellowship come to you. What, shall we be merry? Shall we have a play extempore? Henry. Content, and the argument shall be thy running away. Falstaff. No more of that, Hal, and thou lovest me. Enter Hostess. Hostess. Oh, Jesu, my lord the prince. Henry. How now, my lady the hostess? What sayest thou to me? Hostess. Marry, my lord, there is a nobleman of the court at door would speak with you. He says he comes from your father. Henry. Give him as much as will make him a royal man, and send him back again to my mother. Falstaff. What matter of man is he? Hostess. An old man. Falstaff. What doth gravity out of his bed at midnight? Shall I give him his answer? Henry. Prithee, do, Jack. Falstaff. Faith, and I'll send him packing. Exit Falstaff. Henry. Now, sirs, by a lady, you fought fair, so did you, Petto, so did you, Bardolph, you are lions too, you ran away upon instinct, you will not touch me, prince, no, fie? Bardolph. Faith, I ran when I saw others run. Henry. Faith, tell me now in earnest, how came Falstaff's sword so hacked? Petto. Why, he hacked it with his dagger, and said he would swear truth out of England, but he would make you believe it was done in fight, and persuaded us to do the like. Bardolph. Yea, and to tickle our noses with spear grass to make them bleed, and then to beslubber our garments with it, and swear it was the blood of true men. I did that, I did not this 7 year before. I blush to hear his monstrous devices. Henry. O villain! Thou stolest a cup of sack 18 years ago, and wert taken with the manner, and ever since thou hast blushed extempore. Thou hadst fire and sword on thy side, and yet thou rannest away. What instinct hadst thou for it? Bardolph. My lord, do you see these meteors? Do you behold these exhalations? Henry. I do. Bardolph. What think you they portend? Henry. Hot livers and cold purses. Bardolph. Choler, my lord, if rightly taken. Henry. No, if rightly taken, halter. Re-enter Falstaff. Here comes lean Jack, here comes Barebone. How now, my sweet creature of bombast? How long it's go, Jack, since thou sawest thine own knee? Falstaff. My own knee? When I was about thy years, Hal, I was not an eagle's talon in the waist. I could have crept into any alderman's thumb ring, a plague of sighing and grief. It blows a man up like a bladder. There's villainous news abroad. Here was Sir John Bracy from your father. You must to the court in the morning. That same mad fellow of the north, Percy, and he of Wales, that gave Amomon the bastinado, and made Lucifer cuckold, and swore the devil is true liegeman upon the cross of a Welsh hook. What a plague call you on him? Poins. Oh, Glendower. Falstaff. Owen the same, and his son-in-law Mortimer, and old Northumberland, that sprightly Scot of Scots Douglas, that runs a horseback up a hill perpendicular. Henry. He that rides at high speed and with his pistol kills a sparrow flying. Falstaff. You have hit it. Henry. So did he, never the sparrow. Falstaff. Well, that rascal hath good mettle in him. He will not run. Henry. Why, what a rascal art thou then, to praise him so for running? Falstaff. Oh, horseback, ye cuckoo, but afoot. He will not budge afoot. Henry. Yes, Jack, upon instinct. Falstaff. I grant ye, upon instinct. Well, he is there too, and one more Dake, and 1,000 blue caps more. Worcester is stolen away to-night. Thy father's beard is turned white with the news. You may buy land now as cheap as a stinking mackerel. Henry. Why, then, it is like, if there come a hot June in this civil buffeting hold, we shall buy maidenheads as they buy hobnails, by the hundreds. Falstaff. By the mass, lad, thou sayest true. It is like we shall have good trading that way. But tell me, Hal, art not thou terribly afeard? Thou being heir apparent, could the world pick thee out of 3 such enemies again as that fiend Douglas, that spirit Percy, and that devil Glendower? Art thou not horribly afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill at it? Henry. Not a whit, in faith. I lack some of thy instinct. Falstaff. Well, that would be horribly chid tomorrow when thou comest to thy father. If thou love me, practice an answer. Henry. Do thou stand for my father, and examine me upon the particulars of my life? Falstaff. Shall I? Content. This chair shall be my state, this dagger my sceptre, and this cushion my crown. Henry. Thy state is taken for a joined stool, thy golden sceptre for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown. Falstaff. Well, and the fire of grace be not quite out of thee, now shalt thou be moved. Give me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red, that it may be thought I have wept, for I must speak in passion, and will do it in King Cambus's vein. Henry. Well, here is my leg. Falstaff. And here is my speech. Stand aside, nobility. Hostess. Oh, Jesu, this is excellent sport, in faith. Falstaff. Weep not, sweet queen, for trickling tears are vain. Hostess. Oh, the father, how he holds his countenance! Falstaff. For God's sake, lords, convey my tristful queen, for tears do stop the floodgates of her eyes. Hostess. Oh, Jesu, he doth it like one of those harlotry players as ever I see. Falstaff. Peace, good pint-pot, peace, good tickle-brain. Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest that time, but also how thou art accompanied. For though the camomile, the more it is trodden on the faster it grows, yet youth, the more it is wasted, the sooner it wears. That thou art my son, I have partly thy mother's word, partly my own opinion, but chiefly a villainous trick of thine eye, and a foolish hanging of thy nether lip, that doth warrant me. If then thou be son to me, here lies the point. Why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? Shall the blessed Son of Heaven prove a micker and eat blackberries? A question not to be asked. Shall the Son of England prove a thief and take purses? A question to be asked. There is a thing, Harry, which thou hast often heard of, and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, as ancient writers do report, doth defile, so doth the company that keepest. For, Harry, now I do not speak to thee in drink, but in tears. Not in pleasure, but in passion. Not in words only, but in woes also. And yet there is a virtuous man whom I have often noted in thy company, but I know not his name. Henry. What manner of man, and it like your majesty? Falstaff. A good portly man, in faith, and a corpulent, of a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage, and, as I think, his age some 50, or by a lady inclining to 60. And now I remember me, his name is Falstaff. If that man should be lewdly given, he deceiveth me, for, Harry, I see virtue in his looks. If then the tree may be known by the fruit, as the fruit by the tree, then peremptorily I speak it, there is virtue in that Falstaff. Him keep with, the rest banish. And tell me now, thou naughty varlet, tell me, where hast thou been this month? Henry. Dost thou speak like a king? Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father. Falstaff. Depose me, if thou dost it half so gravely, so majestically, both in word and matter, hang me up by the heels for a rabbit-sucker, or a poulter's hare. Henry. Well, here I am set. Falstaff. And here I stand, judge, my masters. Henry. Now, Harry, whence come you? Falstaff. My noble lord, from Eastcheap. Henry. The complaints I hear of thee are grievous. Falstaff. 'Sblood, my lord, they are false. Nay, I'll tickle thee for a young prince, in faith. Henry. Swearest thou, ungracious boy? Henceforth ne'er look upon me. Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is a devil haunts thee in the likeness of an old fat man, a ton of man is thy companion. Why dost thou converse with that trunk of humours, that bolting hotch of beastliness, that swollen parcel of Dropleys, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak-bag of guts, that roasted Manningtree ox with the pudding in his belly, that reverend vice, that grey iniquity, that father ruffian, that vanity in years? Wherein is he good, but to taste sack and drink it? Wherein neat and cleanly, but to carve a capon and eat it? Wherein cunning, but in craft? Wherein crafty, but in villain? Wherein villainous, but in all things? Wherein worthy, but in nothing? Falstaff. I would your grace take me with you. Whom means your grace? Prince Henry. That villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff, that old white-bearded Satan. Falstaff. My lord, the man I know. Prince Henry. I know thou dost. Falstaff. But to say I know more harm in him than in myself were to say more than I know. That he is old, the more the pity. His white hairs do witness it, but that he is, saving your reverence, a whoremaster, that I utterly deny. If sack and sugar be a fault, God help the wicked. If to be old and merry is a sin, then many an old host that I know is damned. If to be fat, to be hated, then Pharaoh's lean kine, or to be loved. No, my good lord, banish Peto, banish Bardolph, banish Poins, but for sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and therefore more valiant being as he is, old Jack Falstaff, banish not him thy Harry's company, banish not him thy Harry's company, banish plump Jack, and banish all the world. Henry. I do. I will. A knocking heard. Exeunt hostess, Francis, and Bardolph. Re-enter Bardolph, running. Bardolph. Oh, my lord, the sheriff with the most monstrous watch is at the door. Falstaff. Out, you rogue, play out the play. I have much to say in the behalf of that Falstaff. Re-enter the hostess. Oh, Jesu, my lord, my lord. Prince Henry. Hey, the devil rides upon a fiddlestick. What's the matter? Hostess. The sheriff and all the watch are at the door. They are come to search the house. Shall I let them in? Falstaff. Dost thou hear, Hal? Never call a true piece of gold a counterfeit. Thou art essentially mad without seeming so. Henry. And thou a natural coward, without instinct. Falstaff. I deny your major, if you will deny the sheriff. So, if not, let him enter. If I become not a cart, as well as another man, a plague on my bringing up. I hope I shall as soon be strangled with a halter as another. Henry. Go, hide thee behind the arras. The rest walk up above. Now, my masters, for a true face and good conscience. Falstaff. Both, which I have had, but their date is out, and therefore I'll hide me. Henry. Call in the sheriff. Exeunt all except Prince Henry and Petto. Enter sheriff and the carrier. Now, Master Sheriff, what is your will with me? Sheriff. First, pardon me, my lord. A hue and cry hath followed certain men unto this house. Henry. What men? Sheriff. One of them is well known, my gracious lord, a gross fat man. Carrier. As fat as butter. Henry. The man, I do assure you, is not here, for I myself at this time have employed him, and, Sheriff, I will engage my word to thee that I will by tomorrow dinner time send him to answer thee or any man for anything he should be charged withal. And so let me entreat you leave the house. Sheriff. I will, my lord. There are two gentlemen have in this robbery lost 300 marks. Henry. It may be so, if he have robbed these men. He shall be answerable, and so farewell. Sheriff. Good night, my noble lord. Henry. I think it is good morrow, is it not? Sheriff. Indeed, my lord, I think it be 2 o'clock. Exeunt sheriff and carrier. Henry. This oily rascal is known as well as Paul's. Go, call him forth. Petto. Falstaff. Fast asleep behind the arras, and sleep snorting like a horse. Henry. Hark, how hard he fetches breath. Search his pockets. He searched his pockets and findeth certain papers. What hast thou found? Petto. Nothing but papers, my lord. Henry. Let's see what they be. Read them. Petto. Reads. Item. A capon. 2 shillings. Item. Sauce. Item. Sack. 2 gallons. 5 shillings. Item. Anchovies and sack after supper. 2 shillings. Item. Bread. Henry. Oh, monstrous! But 1/2 penny worth of bread to this intolerable deal of sack? What there is else? Keep close. We'll read it at more advantage. There let him sleep till day. I'll to the court in the morning. We must all to the wars, and thy place shall be honourable. I'll procure this fat rogue a charge of foot, and I know his death will be paid a march of 12 score. The money shall be paid back again with advantage. Be with me betimes in the morning, and so, good morrow, Petto. Exeunt. Petto. Good morrow, my lord. And scene.